Today I want to talk about something deeply personal yet profoundly universal. The choice to stop waiting for an apology and to finally grant ourselves the gift of closure. We often think that healing requires someone else's permission. We think that peace begins only when the person who hurt us acknowledges their mistake. When they say, "I'm sorry." But what if I told you that this belief keeps us chained to the very pain we want to leave behind? This idea, that we can create closure without external validation, isn't just empowering, it's practical and psychologically liberating. The myth of the apology. So many of us sit in emotional limbo because we're waiting for acknowledgement, waiting for remorse, waiting for some external seal that says our pain was real and justified. Brené Brown, in her book Rising Strong, reminds us that vulnerability and courage are essential to healing. She writes, "Owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we will ever do." In other words, no one else gets to validate your experience, you do. Apologies can be powerful, but they are not always forthcoming. And when we hinge our peace on another person's willingness to confront their shortcomings, we essentially hand them the keys to our emotional freedom. That's a dangerous place to leave your heart. Psychological closure without permission. So how do we move forward without waiting? In The Body Keeps the Score, Bessel Kolk explores how trauma lives in the body long after the event is over. Healing, he explains, happens not by proof that the other person was wrong, but by reclaiming ownership of our own narrative. Closure isn't a moment we receive. It's a momentum we build, through understanding, acceptance, and conscious choice. If we tell ourselves over and over, "I'll heal when they admit they hurt me," we've outsourced our emotional agency. We've made someone else the editor of our life story. But what if we flipped the script? What if we became the author? The one who decides where the chapter ends and the next one begins. This is not denial. This is sovereignty. Reclaiming sovereignty. You are the architect. In Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl writes about finding purpose even in the most harrowing circumstances. He observed that people can endure almost anything if they feel they have meaning. That's the heart of self-sovereignty, the understanding that you are not at the mercy of someone else's actions. You are the architect of your response. Reclaiming peace means refusing to leave your healing in the hands of the person who fractured it. It means looking at resentment not as a burden to carry but as a fuel, a transformative energy that propels you forward. Instead of saying, "They owe me closure," we say, "I owe myself peace." Transmutation, from resentment to evolution. Anger and resentment are powerful emotions. But left unchecked, they become stagnant, like smoke that builds and suffocates. Transformation comes not from suppression but from transmutation, turning that raw emotional energy into something that serves your growth. In The Untethered Soul, Michael A. Singer teaches that pain is inevitable but suffering is optional. He challenges us to watch our emotions rather than be carried by them. When we do that, resentment becomes not a prison but a teacher, an indicator of where we need to grow, heal, and evolve. This is evolution beyond resentment. Active healing, your role in your growth. This is where we shift from passive healing, hoping for something outside ourselves, to active healing where we take responsibility for our internal world. Healing becomes an action word. Instead of asking, "When will they apologize?" we ask, "What lesson does this pain hold? What growth is waiting on the other side of this hurt?" This shift is not easy. It requires courage, the same courage Brené Brown speaks of. But it also requires trust that you are capable of writing the ending to your story, even if others refuse to acknowledge their role in it. You don't need permission to heal. Today, right now, you do not need someone else's confession, remorse, or acknowledgement to grant yourself closure. You are the curator of your emotional experience. You are the one who gets to choose. What you carry forward, what you leave behind, and how you shape the contours of your inner peace. Healing is not a reward, it's a right. And closure isn't something to be waited for, it's something to be claimed.